Next week, the biggest market moving event will be the PCE Price Index. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to MarketBeat. This is Thomas Hughes bringing you the MarketBeat preview. Don and Lacey are out of town this week, so I'll be flying solo. If you like the content today, be sure and give me a like and a share. If you have any comments or questions, put them down below and I'll do my best to answer them. I want to start this week by talking about the VIX. Let me pull up that chart. Okay, so the VIX has moved down to the post-pandemic lows. That is a significant low level and indicates a very low level of fear. At this level, the S&P 500 may be expected to rally higher. However, this low level of fear has been driven by complacency. The market just isn't taking seriously the amount of risks that are in the economy right now. What you can also see right here is that the VIX spiked 50% from that low, confirming the bottom this week. What caused that to happen? The VIX confirmed its bottom because of the FOMC. The FOMC did not hike rates as was expected, but what they did do was indicate a high likelihood for another interest rate hike and for interest rates to stay higher for longer. What this means is that the new normal is just normal. We're going to have higher inflation and higher interest rates for a long time. As it is, the CME's FedWatch tool is not pricing in a rate cut until the middle of next year at the earliest, and it may not be until late next year when it comes. As far as inflation goes, the FOMC does not predict inflation coming down to their 2% target for 3 or 4 more years at least. That's a good long time. Now, inflation and interest rates are the specter in the room, but the biggest risk for the market right now is oil prices. Oil prices underpin the cost of everything, and they've been rising. Oil prices broke out to a new high about a month ago, and they have only increased since then. As it stands, the market expects oil prices to top $100 before the holidays, and that will reinvigorate inflation. The last CPI report shows inflation accelerating from the low levels it set over the summer, and that should be confirmed again this week with the PCE Price Index. Before we get into that, let's look at a chart of the S&P 500. Now we can see the S&P 500 hit a top over the summer. It's corrected and bounced and confirmed resistance at a lower level. This week, the index sold off pretty significantly, setting a new low after the FOMC indicated higher rates for longer. Now, it's possible the index will find support here at the 150-day moving average, but it is very likely the index will continue to gain momentum and move down to these lower levels near 4,200 and 4,000. What might cause that to happen? Well, this week we have the PCE Price Index coming out. The PCE Price Index is the Fed's favorite tool for measuring inflation, and it is expected to show another acceleration. The acceleration is not supposed to be large, but any acceleration is contrary to the idea that inflation is tamed. If the index comes in hotter than expected, it will not only affirm the Fed's decision to potentially hike rates again, but it will cement fear in the market that the rate hiking cycle and inflation are far from tamed. Now let's turn our focus to earnings. It's still about 3 weeks until the peak of the earnings cycle. JP Morgan is expected to report the second week of October, but this week there are a few names of importance. The names that I'm looking at are Thor Industries, Costco, Cintas, Micron, and Nike. Now, none of these businesses are very closely related, but they all have one thing in common. They're each recovering from the post-pandemic boom and bust, and their respective industries are showing signs of normalization. If those signs continue, and there is some positive news in the outlook, we should see these markets either bottom if they're moving lower or continue to move higher if they're trending higher. Well, that wraps up our MarketBeat preview for this week. Again, if you have any questions or comments, please put them down below in our comment section. If you liked our preview, please give us a like and a share. And remember, next week, the biggest market moving event will be the PCE Price Index. So until then, remember the trend.